Hi, my name is Bill Wiese, and I'm the author of the book 23 Minutes in Hell, and thank you for watching. I want to talk to you today about a deathbed perspective. Now, many of us have questions about the afterlife, but what you may think happens to you after death may differ greatly from someone on their deathbed. Now, some of the questions people may have while they are busy living life and healthy are, why is there hell? And how could a loving God send someone there? What about all the other religions of the world? What makes only Christianity right? And what about the person who never heard the gospel? Will they go to hell? And what about a good person? Now, I would like you to view these questions from a different perspective. I would like you to contemplate what would be your thoughts if you were lying on a hospital bed right now. Your doctor has informed you that you only have several hours to live. Your disease is in the very final stages. You will probably not last the night. What would be important to you during those last remaining hours you have on this earth? Well, I'm sure that the usual things we all are concerned with, such as spending cherished moments with our loved ones and putting our financial affairs in order, would be prominent. However, you might now think about things such as, is there life after death? Is there such a place as heaven or hell? If there is, where will I go? Would I be accepted into heaven? And if so, why? Will the deciding factor be based on my being good or bad? Now, these are now more important questions one might have when facing eternity. Suddenly, a person's arrogant questioning of God and His ways would be non-existent. Facing death tends to humble most. However, there are still those who will retain a prideful or defiant heart against God on their deathbed. They may think, well, I don't believe in an afterlife. I believe that we simply cease to exist. Well, if that is the case, then listen to what Jesus said. In Matthew 25:41, He said, "Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels." He also said in Matthew 13:49 and 50, "The angels will come forth, separate the wicked from among the just, and cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth." However, the good news is that everyone can be saved if they choose correctly. Jesus said in John 6:40, "Everyone who sees the Son and believes on Him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up the last day." In other words, Jesus is saying anyone who understands or sees that He is who He said He is and believes or puts their trust in Him for salvation alone will be saved. Now, I want to share a story that I wrote about in my book called Hell, Separate the Truth from Fiction, chapter 16. Now, this is a true story about a man who was on his deathbed. Now, he was a wealthy man who didn't believe in God and found himself at death's door. Now, how did he respond? And what happened to him? Well, he was truly afraid and wanted to know the truth. So we explain that Jesus, who is God, became a man, paid for our sins by dying on the cross, and then rose from the dead. And we shared with him that he needed to ask forgiveness for his sins and to ask Jesus to come into his heart. He must believe from his heart and confess with his mouth that Jesus is Lord in order to be saved. Now, he anxiously did just that and was saved that very day. And he died shortly after. Now, the question is, what if you didn't have that opportunity to think on these things from a hospital bed because your life ended suddenly? Now, have you investigated the Bible with a heart attitude of really wanting to know the truth? And are you willing to risk so much, your eternal soul, on just your opinion?